Greetings, all you fabulous Sadie supporters. So happy to have you here with us. And let's keep on reading from Saving Sadie, How a Dog That No One Wanted Inspired the World. If I gave up on Sadie, then all of these treatments and everything we've done would have been for nothing. And I couldn't very well just ask her to remain in this diminished state. I can't see, boo-boo. You have to move your head. I can't see, boo-boo. Excuse me. Let's try that again. And I couldn't very well ask her to remain in this diminished state, consigned to only moving very short, painful bunny hops, or dragging her lifeless back legs on the ground behind her, because that's all I could afford to do. Sadie did not deserve the cruel hand she'd been dealt in life. I assumed her only crime was to continually give birth to litters of puppies for her owner until she was no longer needed, and then they shot her in the head, right between the eyes, and abandoned her in the woods and left her to die. Sadie desperately deserved a second chance in life. Are you happy sitting there with me? I think so. And I was determined to be the one who would give it to her. The reality was that as much as I had tried not to, I had fallen deeply, desperately, head over heels in love with Sadie. She was my dogter now, and I was her forever mom. We were in this together, through thick and thin, so I would just have to find a way to tighten my belt, cut costs, and do whatever it took. If that's what it was going to take to save Sadie, that's exactly what I was going to do. It seems like Sadie's really comfortable right here, right, Boo-Boo? Yes, you are. What's so interesting over there? Hey, look at your people. Your people are here right now. Well, thanks so much again. SavingSadie.com. Go into SavingSadieMovies, plural.com. Take a peek at her movie, and there is going to be so much more. Join us again for another reading from Saving Sadie, How a Dog No One Wanted Inspired the World. Have a great day. Hi everyone. We're reading again. Little bit drippy here today. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick reading for you and let you go on your way. By now, it was the last week of June, and Marnette, my sister, if you're following along, was scheduled to visit in a few days, meeting Sadie in person for the very first time. I wondered what she would think of this crazy schedule that I've created for Sadie and me. Although Marnette had been nothing but supportive since Sadie came into our lives, devoting serious time, money, energy, and sheer hard work toward the Saving Sadie effort, it would be different for her actually witnessing the entire operation up close. Hey, what are you doing over there? Would she worry about the toll all of this was taking on me, physically and emotionally? Would she think the whole thing was too overwhelming, too intense, too indulgent? Would she come to believe that, well, that Sadie wasn't worth it? That's not true. You know you're worth it. You know you're worth it. Hey, look over here, Boo-Boo, okay? I think she's watching some leaves fall, actually. So, let's see. Although I had serious concerns, I also couldn't wait for Marnette to get here. Rehabbing a disabled dog can be lonely and isolating. An isolating undertaking, and as much as I loved my fur babies, it would be wonderful to have human companionship once again. Marnette arrived on Saturday. I drove to the airport to pick her up with Sadie and Sparky riding along in the back of the SUV. When I opened the back hatch to put Marnette's suitcase inside, her eyes met Sadie's. Oh, this just gives me goosebumps. I just remember this day so vividly. And it was truly a case of love at first sight. "Oh, Joelle, she's beautiful," she explained. The photos don't do her justice. She reached in toward Sadie, and Sadie, with her best, "I'm trying as hard as I can," little wag of her tail, stretched towards Marnette. What followed was a mini love fest of petting, stroking, ear rubs, and cuddles. "She's just wonderful," Marnette sighed, her blue eyes shining with tears. "I am so glad that you did not give up on her." And there's so many people out there that didn't give up on you either, right? And we are so thankful to you. So very, very thankful. To keep on following Sadie in her amazing story, her mission to save lives due to bullying. Thank you. Sadie's life is not over yet. She still has so much more to do. We thank you for that. So stay tuned, like I keep on saying, for more from Sadie's book, Saving Sadie, How a Dog No One Wanted, believe me, no one wanted, inspired the world. Thank you again. Welcome to another edition of our reading from Sadie's book. Things were going so well that I was taken totally by surprise when I experienced my first serious Sadie meltdown. It was a hot, lazy Saturday afternoon in early August, and I'd been working with Sadie for hours on the power plate, the peanut ball, the trampoline, and a new indoor exercise that I'd come up with, trying to train her to use her legs to climb the stairs from the living room up to the bedroom on her own. I would place a small piece of food on every step, and the idea was that Sadie would have to lift herself from one step to the next to get the next piece of food. Look at your eyeballs. I was behind her on the stairs, supporting her rump while she reached forward with her front paws. We had gone up 2 steps very slowly and awkwardly, but now she had stopped, all 40-plus pounds of her, and was absolutely refusing to move. What is going on there? Huh? What's going on there? You refuse to move. Remember that? Imagine that. So I said, "Come on, Sadie," I coaxed, giving her a stronger and more pointed push. "Just one more step for me, okay?" I pushed again, bracing my back and straining my muscles as sweat poured down my forehead. Man, do I remember that. Sadie plopped down on the step and folded her front legs beneath her. The gauntlet had been clearly thrown down. She had no intention of moving. "Fine, have it your way," I snapped, sliding my arms beneath her belly, lifting her up and placing her back on the living room carpet at the base of the stairs. "Why can't you do just what I want? Why?" Tears sprang to my eyes, just a trickle at first, but then the dam burst. "Sadie, don't you see that I'm trying to help you?" I sobbed. "I just want you to be able to walk again." My frustration really had nothing to do with trying to help her climb the stairs, I quickly realized. My meltdown was because here we are in August. I had had Sadie for a little bit more than 3 months. And even with all the progress she's made, she was nowhere close to where I thought she should be by now. She was still in a diaper and wasn't urinating on her own. And how I wanted her to, she just wasn't standing on her own, and she just wasn't walking. "How much more do we have to do?" I cried out loud. I sank to the bottom step and sat with my face buried in my hands, letting the tears flow around my fingers. Why isn't this working? Suddenly, remember that? Remember what happened? Remember when you did that? Suddenly, I felt a cold, wet nudge against my arm. Then another one, more insistent this time. I looked up, and it was Sadie trying to get my attention. She smiled her doggy smile and wagged her tail. I stroked her head, rubbing the base of her ears. Her bright caramel brown eyes gazed at me, full of love and optimism, as if to say, "Please don't be mad at me, Mom. I'm doing the best I can. It's really hard to get my legs to work the way we want them to. I know, girl, I'm so sorry. I pulled her close, kissed her forehead, and wrapped my arms around her shoulders, letting the thick, soft, warm fur around her neck absorb my tears. I realized that it was probably just stressed, overly tired, and I was just in desperate need of a break. It wasn't fair to take my frustrations out on Sadie. So I phoned my dog sitter, Jeff, and asked him if he would come over and take Sadie for the day. I'll do better than that, he promised over the phone, and I could hear the smile in his voice. Pack an overnight bag for Sadie, and I'll bring her back tomorrow morning. Oh, do I remember those days? Unbelievable, right? What are you, catatonic today? No, Sadie, I think you're dogatonic today. What's going on? You don't see this, but her tail is going like crazy. So, again, we thank you for everything. Thanks for being here. Thanks for reading along with us. And we'll be back. We promise.